I don't want to be stuck waiting on developers to, make their stuff work the way that fucking Wayland works. And make their applications compatible with Wayland's way of doing things. That's like the end story about it. This is like the simplest thing in the fucking world to me, and everything to explain this to you. Like, I'm not the developer of any particular Linux package. And maybe someday, especially since I'm having ChatGPT tutor me in writing C, but the just the sheer audacity of it and everything for people to be talking about it like this. Like we've already got a solution for that on Wayland. You just have to update your application to support our way of doing things. Well, that leaves me in a lurch where I'm absolutely dependent on the developer of any particular package I want to use to update their shit to work the way that Wayland wants it to work and it behave according to Wayland's expectations. The original maintainer of the package may actually be dead, and everything. It may be officially abandonware at this point. It may be like, old software that's not being actively maintained at all. What are we supposed to do then? As far as that stuff is concerned, for example, and everything. Like this, there was 40 years of software that worked on X11 and expected X11 and everything when it launched and everything, and the official narrative about Wayland all along has been, well, we have a solution for that, but the application developers have to come to us. They have to adapt their software to work with our way of doing things, and I just I you've broken backwards compatibility. You've left users in a space where they have to rely on developers to update their software to work the way that Wayland does things, or at least for somebody else to come and pick up and carry the torch and everything and figure out how the fuck the original dev wrote things and then rewrite it and retool it to work that Wayland does things. This is just it's asinine, and everything, and deep insulting, and everything for them to do this. And it's such a massive red flag against Wayland for me that to even hear those words come out of the mouths of some of the biggest Wayland boosters like Brody, and like let me get his full name here so that I'm not just calling him Brody. Brody Robinson, Robertson, and everything, and him talking about it this way at everything, and speaking about Wayland applications. Every time somebody will say something, he'll say, "Well, that's not true. We've got portals and we've got a solution for it and everything. It depends on app developers to come forward and fix their stuff to work with us." And everything, and that means as the end user, I'm dependent on that app developer taking the time to rewrite their software and recompile it to work with Wayland. I don't want to be stuck in that situation. I don't want to be stuck depending on them to do anything, because they may do it, they may not do it. It may never get fixed.